Welcome to MLab online tutorial. Now let's look at this exponential equation. It said if the square root of 7 as acting as a base raised to the power of the square root of 4 minus the square root of x equals 49. Now find x. So how do we go about this? This is just very simple. Now if you look at the left hand side, you get to see that this is a square root of 7. And the right hand side 49. So 9 here is also a factor of 7, which can also be reduced to a base of 7. Okay, so in that case, let's recall that when you have the square root of x is the same thing as saying x raised to the power of 1 over what? 2. Okay, now let us apply this rule for the square root of 7. So we end up at 7 raised to the power of 2, then into the square root of 24 minus the square root of what? X. Okay, then equals, I want to reduce this to a base of 7 because on the left hand side here I'm having a base of 7. So here you have 7 raised to the power of what? 2. Now as long as we are having the same base, we can always equate the exponent. Okay, by this rule we have 1 all over 2 of the square root of 24 minus the square root of x, then equals what? 2. So at this point now, to undo this half here, let us multiply both sides by 2. And by multiplying both sides by 2, when we multiply the left hand side by 2, we are left with what's in parentheses, which is the square root of 24 minus the square root of what? X. And when we multiply the right hand side by 2, we end up having what? 4. Okay, the next thing we need to do now is to undo the square root. And how do we do that? Is to raise both sides by the power of 2. So here we raise this by 2 and here we raise this by 2. Now the square root, the square here, undo the square root. So we're leaving behind 24 minus the square root of x, then equals 4 raised to the power of 2 means 4 times 4, which gives us what? 16. So at this point now, I want to do this. Now I want to bring the negative square root of x to the right hand side and bring 16 to the left hand side. And when I do that, I will have 24. Now take note that 16 is positive here. Now because it's crossing the negative sign to the left hand side of the equation, it becomes what? Negative. And because the square root of x is having a negative sign, as it crosses over the equal sign to the right hand side, it becomes what? Positive. Okay, now 24 minus 16, that should give us 8, then equals what? The square root of x. Let us rearrange. So we can have that the square root of x equals what? 8, which is just the same thing as I just needed to swap. Then raise this to the power of 2, and why I'm doing this is to undo the square root here. Alright, so these two cancels this, then here we have that x equals what? 64. Okay, now x equals 64. When you plug it here, you end up having 7 raised to the power of what? 2, which gives us what? 49. Thank you and God bless you.